I'm going to show you guys what I do with a scraps of leather. For these little button loops, you can actually make these with a minimum of a 6-inch scrap of leather. Because I've tried making these like shorter, like maybe with a 4-inch or a 5-inch, and it was almost impossible. As long as it's 6 inches long, you can make these little button loops, which are fantastic for bracelets or necklaces that have like buttons. So what you do is you take a pin and a clip and just put it an inch apart on your board. And one thing that you'll need towards the end is a pair of like pliers that have like serrated teeth, just so you can grab onto the leather. So what I do is I take a scrap of cord, and this is going to give me leverage because, you know, trying to make that that knot without, you know, additional like leverage is almost impossible. So I take my leather scrap, I fold it in half, and then I just feed this cord in here. And the placement here, you don't want it overlapping this way. You just want like a little bit of space in there, just, you know, enough, because you need to make a knot. We're going to be making a knot. So let's get this clipped right there. And what you got to keep, the important thing is you got to keep these aligned through the entire process. So we're going to just take these guys without letting them overlap, and then, well, first let's make sure they're straight. Okay, let's make sure they're even on the end. That's really important. So, all right. And it might help if you kind of like squeeze it. Okay, so we're going to wrap around, and then we're going to feed the ends through the hole right here. So it's basically, I mean, it is an overhand knot, but the only reason this one's tricky is because you're making it with two, like a doubled cord. So now we're going to like just kind of scoot this part over and just kind of squeeze it, just to kind of get it into shape. Okay, now that we have that part done, you just pop it off, and then you could start tightening and pull this way, like that way. You know, and the amount you pull will depend on like the size of your button. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind. I mean, sometimes you could just eyeball it, but also keep in mind that if it's a super domed button, a button with a big dome, you will need to make that loop bigger. But if it's like a flat button, then, you know, you could just eyeball it. So you just get this part tight, and now what we need to do is pull these guys down here to like tighten the rest of the knot. And that's where the serrated tooth pliers come in, because I did it with these guys, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of slips. See that? So with these serrated ones, you just kind of get it on the end right there and just kind of give it a nice little pull. And then you just, you know, tweak it just so that it looks good. And that's it. So now you can use these guys for, like I said, button loops. And as long as, I mean, if you can make a button loop with 6 inches of 2 millimeter, it's going to work with the 1.5, the 1. It's 2 millimeters, like the thickest that leather that I use, and it works. Remember, 6 inches. So don't throw those scraps away. Look at that.